A 230-pound English Mastiff named Titus refused to eat for 47 days, returned 5 times, 8 years old, labeled too broken, too old, too damaged to save. The shelter staff said one more day and he wouldn't make it through the night. Then a quiet 32-year-old man walked in at 3:17 a.m. when no one else was there. And what he did next left every shelter worker speechless. Daniel Carter was 32 years old, and for the last 19 months, his house had been silent. His wife, Rachel, had passed from ovarian cancer on a Tuesday morning in March, and the silence she left behind had weight. It pressed on the walls, it filled the coffee cups, it sat in the chair across from him every single morning at breakfast. He was a diesel mechanic, steady hands, built for fixing things, but no one had taught him how to fix a life with a hole in the middle of it. He didn't need a dog, at least that's what he told himself every night while sitting alone in the living room watching a TV he couldn't even hear. On a Thursday in November, Daniel couldn't sleep. 2:48 a.m. He drove 17 miles to Harper County Animal Rescue because he had nowhere else to be. He wasn't there to adopt, he was there to breathe in a room that had heartbeats in it, because for 19 months, the only heartbeat in his house had been his own. The night shift supervisor, a woman named June, didn't look up when Daniel came in. She just pointed to the back kennels. Go ahead, they don't sleep anyway. None of them. Daniel walked past kennel after kennel, puppies, young dogs, pit mixes, Labradors, and then he stopped at kennel 23. In the corner, pressed against the concrete wall, lay the biggest dog Daniel had ever seen. A 230-pound English Mastiff, brindle and fawn with a black mask, sagging jowls, and enormous paws the size of a grown man's hand. His eyes were open but empty. His ribs were showing through his thick coat. A dog that size, 230 pounds, should never have ribs showing. The name on the kennel card was Titus, age 8 years, status urgent, do not adopt to inexperienced owners. Daniel stood there for a long time. Then June came up behind him, carrying a clipboard. "That's Titus," she said softly. "Been here 134 days this time. Came in from a hoarding situation. Before that, he was returned 5 times in 2 years. First family said he was too big. Second said too quiet. Third got scared when he started losing weight. Fourth couldn't afford the food bills. Fifth family dropped him off at 6 a.m. on a Sunday and didn't even come in to sign the papers, just left him tied to the gate. He hasn't eaten in 47 days, she added. Not a single bite. We've tried everything. Boiled chicken, rice, cottage cheese, his favorite treats. He just turns his head away. The vet says if he doesn't eat by tomorrow, we'll have to make the call no one wants to make." Daniel didn't say anything. He just walked to the kennel door and asked June to open it. "Sir, I wouldn't—" "Please." June hesitated. Then she unlocked the gate. Daniel stepped inside slowly, closed the door behind him, and lowered himself onto the cold cement floor next to Titus. He didn't try to pet him. He didn't try to talk to him. He just sat there, his back against the concrete wall, staring at nothing. For a long time, nothing happened. Then at 3:17 a.m., Titus lifted his massive head, slowly, painfully, and with all the strength he had left in his 230-pound body, he dragged himself across the floor and placed his chin on Daniel's lap. That was all. No bark, no whine, just 230 pounds of exhausted, rejected, starving dog, saying the one thing he had been unable to say for 47 days. "Please, don't leave." June stood outside the kennel with her hand over her mouth. She had worked at that shelter for 11 years. She had never seen Titus touch anyone. What happened next surprised every single person who walked in that morning. Daniel signed the adoption papers 22 minutes later. The drive home took 41 minutes. Titus lay across the entire back seat of Daniel's pickup. At 4:03 a.m., they pulled into the driveway, and Titus walked out on his own and followed Daniel through the front door. And for the first time in 19 months, the silence in that house was broken by the sound of enormous paws on hardwood floor. Daniel set down a bowl of food, plain kibble, nothing fancy. And Titus, who hadn't eaten in 47 days, lowered his massive head and ate every single piece. Daniel sat on the kitchen floor and cried for the first time since Rachel's funeral. I see you've been watching this far, but you still haven't subscribed. That honestly stings a little. Stories like Titus deserve to be seen. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to see what comes next. From that night on, a routine formed. Every morning at 5:45, Titus would walk to Daniel's bedroom and rest his massive chin on the edge of the mattress. One sigh. That was his alarm clock. Daniel would groan, roll over, and there Titus would be, watching him with those tired amber eyes, as if to say, "You kept me, now get up." In the evenings, Titus claimed the entire right side of the couch. The cushion sank 4 inches. By week 2, Daniel just sat on the left, with Titus's heavy head on his thigh. On a freezing Sunday night in February, 9 months after the adoption, Daniel didn't come home. He had driven 60 miles to a mechanic convention in the next state. At 11:48 p.m., his truck hit black ice on a rural county road and rolled 3 times into a ditch. Daniel was conscious but pinned. His phone was somewhere in the snow outside. His body temperature was dropping fast. No one was coming. And back at the house, Titus knew. Nobody can explain how, but at exactly 11:52 p.m., 4 minutes after the crash, the neighbor, a retired widow named Ruth, was awakened by the sound of a 230-pound English Mastiff throwing his entire body against her front door, over and over, hard enough to crack the wood frame. Ruth opened her door in her robe, terrified. Titus didn't attack her. He didn't bark. He turned and ran toward Daniel's truck, then back toward her, 4 times. Ruth, who had known Daniel since the day he moved in, understood. She called 911. Search and rescue found Daniel's truck 47 minutes later, at 12:39 a.m. The paramedics told the responding officer that if they had gotten there 20 minutes later, Daniel would not have survived the cold. What happened that night shocked everyone who knew the dog. Nobody ever figured out how Titus knew. Not the vet, not the neighbors, not Daniel himself. 3 weeks later, when Daniel came home from the hospital on crutches, Titus met him at the door, walked beside him into the living room, and lay down across his feet, and he didn't move for 2 days. If that just made you feel something, you're exactly why we tell these stories. Today, Titus is 9 years old. Daniel is 33. The Mastiff who refused to eat for 47 days now weighs a healthy 238 pounds and has a shelf of his own in the pantry labeled Tease Snacks. He still claims the right side of the couch, he still sighs at 5:45 every morning, and every time Daniel steps through the front door, 230 pounds of loyalty meets him with a chin on the thigh and eyes that say, "You kept me." Sometimes the ones the world labels too broken, too old, too gone, they're not broken at all. They're just waiting for the one person who will sit on the floor with them at 3:17 a.m. and not leave. Because Daniel didn't rescue Titus. Titus rescued Daniel. Would you adopt an 8-year-old dog that 5 families already returned? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments.